Hey, before you build any action in Power Automate Desktop, you must understand how to work with text. Why? Because 80% of the real world automation involve clearing, extracting, formatting, or converting the text. And in this video, we will learn 18 essential text actions with simple examples that you can use immediately. By the end of this lesson, you will know how to split text, replace text, extract values, convert dates, recognize emails, and much more. And if you like this particular course, please press the like button and also subscribe to this channel so that YouTube can recommend this particular course to multiple people. Thank you. Let's jump directly to the course and see what is a text. Text is anything made of characters, be it letters, numbers, symbols, or anything else. For example, if you look at these particular 4 boxes, you have hello world having only characters, and then you have a number, then you have an invoice number which is having both characters and numbers, and you also have email. So everything is a text. And in automation, text is everywhere. Emails, file names, scrap data, Excel values. So mastering text is non-negotiable and it is very, very important. Let us open our flow and see everything practically. Start creating a new flow. Let us call it a text management flow. Remember, I am not enabling PowerFX now. We'll learn about PowerFX in a later video. I am creating one. First step is to create a text variable. We have already seen in all our previous videos. I am creating one new variable and I am calling it as my name. And let me write my name as Ramesh and press save. The text can be of anything. It can be Ramesh, or it can be Ramesh005, or it can be Ramesh@gmail.com, or any other thing, whatever you like, you can create it as a text variable. Let us leave it as Ramesh@gmail.com. The first thing we are going to learn is changing the case of our variable. That is, from smaller case, we are going to change it to uppercase, or a sentence case, or a proper case, or anything. For that, let us change this to some other meaningful sentence. All small letter, my name is Ramesh. So to change the case, we already have an action. For that, let us move on to the group called text, and in that you can find an action called change text case. Text we are going to convert the my name. From the smaller case we are going to change it to uppercase, and we call the variable as my name in uppercase. Run. Let us see how it works. If you look here, my name is in all small characters, and after changing the case, everything is becoming to uppercase. Is this the only case we can change? No, we can change it to many other ways also. I can change from uppercase to lowercase, and then I can change it to title case. Title case in the sense every word will have a capital letter. We'll see it here. I'm changing it in title case. Let me run it. Now, if you look at, every word is having a capital letter as a first character. So there is something called a sentence case. In that particular sentence, only the first letter will be changed to capital letter. We'll just see that. I'm not changing the variable name. If you look at, only the first character has become capital letter. That's it. You can play around with this for changing the case of any variable any text variable you like. Now let us see the next method, in which we will be combining two text into a single text. It can be two or it can be more than that. For that, I have already a value called my name is Ramesh, and then what I am going to do is I am going to create one more variable called set variable, and I call it as my age, and I am just calling, we have to give without any space. I am going to give 35. Now what I am going to do is I am going to combine these two, and I am creating a new variable. Let me create a new variable. Let me call it as combined value. It is very simple. What all we need to do is my name in title case and my age is, and combine my age. That's it. If you run, it gives a combined value as my name is Ramesh and my age is 35. So you can combine two variables, or you can combine one variable with your own text, or you can combine multiple text. Anything you can do. Now, as the next lesson, now let us see how we can split a text variable into multiple items in a list, delimited by a space or a comma or any other thing you like. To start with, we are going to use our last produced variable itself, that is the combined value. Let us move on to the text action group, and here we have something called split text. So the text split is a combined value, and delimiter type, let us make it a standard, and the standard delimiter is space, and the number of times is 1, and variable we produce is my list. Okay, now let us see what is the result we are getting. We are having a sentence, my name is Ramesh and my age is 35. So what we are going to get is a list with each word inside it. Let us run and see. It has created a new thing called my list, and if you look at my list, every word in it is split and created as one list item. So in this, what we have used is the space as the delimiter, that is a separator. Now let us do the same thing with a comma separated value. Let's assume you are having one value. Let me create a new set variable over here. I have a comma separated value, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, like this I have. Now if I am going to this particular split text, and instead of using the combined value, what I am going to do is I am going to delete it, and I am going to select my comma separated value, and instead of space I am going to use the delimiter type. I am going to use it as a custom delimiter. I am going to use it as comma. Now let us see what is the result in my list. So it has produced my list, and what is there in my list? It is having Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and other thing. Like this, you can separate it based on the comma, or you can separate it based on a pipeline character or any other character you define. Hope you have understood how we can split a string into multiple items and create a list using a delimiter. Before we go to the next example, let us clean this. Let me delete all the existing actions and start fresh. Okay, I have only the set variable action enabled now. Here we will learn how to replace a portion of a text. So I have a variable called my name, or let me change the name of this variable. Let us call it as current status. And we have a text called the current status is pending. Now if I run it, it shows a value called the current status is pending. Let's assume the status is changing and we have to convert this particular status from pending to work in progress. So how we will do it? Let us go to the text action and use this action called replace text. So the text to parse is current status, and the text to find we can very well say it is pending. Let us not worry about the use regular expression to find and other thing. Let us just ignore the case, because sometimes we might have put it in small letter, sometimes we may put it in capital letter and other things. So we will just use the ignore case, and I am going to replace it with something called work in progress. We are leaving the comparison type as culture sensitive, and just let us save. Let us run and see what is happening. So it has produced a new variable called replaced, and now the value is current status is WIP. Now we have created a new variable called replaced, but we want the existing variable called the current status has to be changed. So it is very simple. What we are doing is we are not going to create a new variable. Instead, I am selecting the existing variable itself. So it will not create a new variable, but it will replace the existing current status variable to the new value. If I run it, the current status is becoming WIP. Now the next challenge for us is to find a portion of the text. So our current status is WIP. So for some purpose, we want to extract only this value and display it to the user. For that, what we will be using, we are going to the text group and we are using an action called get subtext. So if you look at the get subtext, the first parameter we need to use is the original text. So we are going to extract from the current status, and the start index is either from the beginning of the text or from a particular portion of the text. So if we say start of the text, and if we say the number of characters, let's assume I am taking 10 characters from it, and I am leaving the variable produce a subtext itself now. And if I run it, it will take the first 10 characters up to this. It is extracting and it is showing. What if we want to display the value after this colon? For that, what we need to do is we need to use, instead of start text, you will use the character position, and then we need to find the character position. One thing we need to remember is we need to start counting the character position from 0. So here in this text, the character position of T is 0, H is 1, E is 2, like this. So if we count all these things, the W is starting at a character position called 25. So let us go here and we'll say character position, and we say that it is starting from 25. We want to extract the value, and the number of characters is end of text, whatever the length it may be, we want it. Now let us run. Now if you look at the WIP is extracted in the variable called subtext. Now let us assume instead of WIP, I am calling it as closed. The previous value, the previous status from WIP, I am changing it to closed. Now if you run it, it has extracted from the character's position of 25 to the end of line. It has taken the text out and it is showing us. It will be useful in many of our practical purposes. Now let us learn how to use the next action called the crop text. What the crop text does is it removes the unwanted characters from a text variable. For that, let us create a new flow. Let us delete all these existing actions. Let us keep only the set variable for now. And let me change the value. Let me call it as my full name. And my full name is Mutturaj Subbayan. Now for me, I want one action where I want only my first name and another action in which I want only my last name. So how do I do that? For that, I am using an action called crop text. The first thing, I am going to take only the first name. So what I am doing, I am going to take my full name and then I am selecting the mode. If you look at, there are three different type of flags. One, get text before the specified flag, get text after the specified flag, or get text between the two specified flags. First, let us use the get text before the specified flag. So what I am going to do, I am going to find my first name. So my full name is Mutturaj Subbayan, and what I am doing, I am using this word called Subbayan. I am using my last name as the end flag called Subbayan, and I am just ignoring the case so that even if I am writing small letter, it is identifying. So once I use this, it produces two variables. One is the crop text. So let me call it as, let us leave it this way, first name. And then it also says whether it has found the flag, the Subbayan is there or not. Now if I run this, it says that is flag found is true and the cropped text first name is Mutturaj. Suppose if I am wrongly typing with some other letter, what will happen is flag found is false and the cropped text first name will be empty. Hope you have understood. Now with the same example, if I am using the ignore case and giving a small letter in my name, I given Subbayan as a capital letter to start with, and here in the end flag I am giving a small letter. If I run it, it is going to fail. It says is flag found is false and crop text field is empty. Now hope you understood the concept of it. Now in the same line I am going to find my first name. So I say get text after the specified flag, and here I don't need to give full name. I'm just going to give J and I'm ignoring the case, and let me run it. Yes, we just need one character or whichever is appropriate over here. So if I give after the flag, it has found Subbayan with a space of course, and it has found. Now let us see the next example. I am doing get text between two specified flag. So my name, if you look at it, is Mutturaj Subbayan. So I'm going to give the start flag as J, and I'm going to give the end flag as B. So it is going to give me only the space SU, and the B it is considering as a flag. Now let us run and see what is the result it is producing. So it has extracted the letters between the two flags and it has provided us with the result. Now if you look at, it has created a crop text as SU, which is having one trailing space. No, I don't want it. I want a variable which is not having a trailing or leading spaces. So how do you do that? How do you clean it up and remove the spaces? For that, we are having something called a trim text. So what this trim text does is it removes the white space characters from the beginning and end of it. So what I'm going to do, I am going to use the cropped text field, the first name, and what to trim from the beginning or the end or both the sides. I am just using both the sides, and it is producing a variable called trimmed text. Leave it this way for now, and let us see how it works. So if you look at the cropped text first name is having one space, if you look at here, and the trim text doesn't have a space. So that's it. So simple to learn how to trim the text. If you want to learn how to trim only the leading spaces or the trailing spaces, you can try with this and you can figure out how it works. I encourage you do it on your own. Now I have produced a trimmed text called SU. What I want is I want to add some 3 stars. I want to add 3 stars before the trim text called SU. How can I do that? First, let us see with how we can add 3 stars to this SU, and then we will learn how we can use it practically. For that, I am going to use an action called pad text. The text to pad, I am taking my trim text. I am padding it to the left first. You can either pad it to the left or right. I am padding it to the left. The text to pad, I want a star to appear in between, and I want 3 characters total length. We will come to this particular point. And it says padded text. So we are expecting that it should be 3 stars to appear before the SU. But what is happening? Let us see. If you run it, it is adding only 1 star. Why? Because what the pad text does is like it is adding additional characters to ensure that the total length of the variable is becoming 3. So the value right now is SU, and if I want 3 stars to it, then I need to give 5 over here. And now if I run it, it gives 3 stars before and provides the SU. And similar thing, if I want it on the right side, I just going to change it to right and run. It works. But where do we use it practically? For example, you are having, let me delete it and let us start afresh. Let me create a new variable, set a variable, and I have something called invoice number. My invoice number is INV 25. But I want to display in my invoice as invoice number is INV 00025. Okay. Now how can I do it? So we will utilize whatever we have learned so far. First, we will extract this value called 25 using get subtext. So the original text is invoice number and character position we have INV. I is 0, N is 1, V is 2. Let's assume in every invoice number produced by the system, this INV is constant. For that, we are using the get subtext action and selecting the invoice number. And what is the character position? We say that it is a 0 based system. So I is 0, N is 1, V is 2. So we need it from the third position, and number of characters we want it up to the end of text. So we call it as INV digit as the character. If we run this, let us see whether it is extracting 25. Yes, the INV digit is 25. Now what we are going to do, we are going to produce a new variable called INV 00025. Let's assume. So for that, what I will use is I will use the pad text. The text to pad, I will say INV digit. Padding to the left, the number of characters is, the text for padding is 0, and the total length we call it as maybe 5. So if we say 5, already we are having a value called 25. So it will create 00025. We call it as new INV digit. We are going to produce a new invoice number. That is very simple. We are going to create a new variable. We are going to concatenate two text. We say set new variable. We call it as new invoice number. This is nothing else but INV plus new invoice digit. That's it. If we run now, the new invoice number is INV 00025. Now let us assume instead of INV 25, we are having INV 253. Now let us see what is happening. So already it has added 3 zeros. Now let us see how many zeros it is adding. So now it has added only 2 zeros because the invoice digit is 3 characters. So it is padding for 5 characters. So it has added 2 more zeros to it, and it has produced the new invoice number. Hope you have understood. Before we move to the next action, let us clear all these things. Okay. There is one more feature. I don't know how far we will be using in our practical usage, but let us learn that also. That is called reverse text. So my name is there. My name is there called Mutra Subayan. Let us reverse it for now. I am just selecting this and calling it as reverse text. Let us see the result of it. So it has just reversed the characters and it has produced a new variable. Now let us look at another action called parse text. So what is a parse text? In certain situations, from a long string, the occurrence of a specific character or a word so that you can process something. The parse text will help you identify exactly where a specific character is occurring. It may be one occurrence or it may be multiple occurrences. Let us look at it with a practical example. Let us remove this reverse text for now. I am going to set the variable as my text. Let me create a random text. This is my name. My name is Mutturaj. So this is my text. So here if you look at the my is coming 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Name is coming 2 times. And Mutturaj is coming only once, and 25 is coming only once, and this is the numeric. Now let me use the parse text. Let us see what are all the properties it has. The text to parse is my text. And what is the text to find? First let me find name. And is it a regular expression? No, it is not a regular expression. Start parsing at position 0. Let me parse the entire sentence. First it says the first occurrence only. Let us leave it this way. And I am going to ignore the case for now. And the variable produced is position. Now, please have a look at it. It is producing only one variable called position. Now, if I run, it produces the position called 11. I am finding name. So it is starting at position 11. Now let me just change this. And I will just say first occurrence only is false. Now let me run it. Since in my text there are 2 places where name is available, it produces a list called 11 and 12. So now there are 2 occurrences to it. Let me leave it as name for now, and I mark it as a regular expression. Now if you look at, it produces another variable called matches. Let's see what is happening over here. If I run it, it provides the position as 11 and 20 because at the 11th position there is a word called name, and in the 20th position also there is a word called name, and the matches are name and name. Yeah, because that is a word we have used. But what this regular expression is for? Let me look at my input variable. This is my name. My name is Mutturaj and my age is 25. And I go here and I mark it as is regular expression is true, and the text to find I say \d. That is the digit. The first occurrence of the digit will be considered as the text to extract. Now if I run, it has 2 digit characters, 2 and 5, 25. So the positions are at 48 and 49, and my matches are 2 and 5, the values. Let me change this particular text for now, and I have 10 years of experience and press save. If I run, it has also, in addition to identifying 2 and 5, it has also identified 1 and 10, and it is providing the position and matches. Now if I want the numbers as a whole, what all I can do is I can just go there and press another D to it, and now if I run, it is identifying 25 and 10 as a whole number, and it provides us the result. We are not going deep into the regular expression for now. Probably we will see it as an exclusive video. But for all practical purposes, you will be using this parse text very frequently. Now let us learn how to manipulate the text. That is, we are converting a string or a text to a numeric, and similarly from numeric we are converting to a text. and a date to a string or a text or a text to a date. Let us start with fresh flow. Let me create a new variable and call it my text value, and I'm creating one number as a text 1256.55. As soon as I create, if you come to the variable section, it is having an icon called T. That means like it is text. And if you look at my value here also, it is enclosed with a single quote. That means it is a text value. Let's see if I am going to create the same thing without the comma in between 1256.55, and if I press save, now if you see, it is coming with a hash symbol and it doesn't have any single quote enclosed, so it means it is a numeric value. Let me delete it. Our purpose is that we are going to convert this particular string value or the text value to a numeric value. We are going to the text action group, and you already have some actions already. You are already having some actions to use. The first thing I am going to do is convert text to a number. I open this, and my text value I am changing it as my numeric value. Let us see it in action. Let us simply run. So my text value was 1256 inside the single quote, and it has been converted to a my numeric value, which is a number which you can use to manipulate. Can I convert it back to a text again? Yes, I can do it with convert number to text. I say my numeric value, and here I can give the number of decimal places I want. I'm going to give the decimal places as 5, and I can use a thousand separator too, and variable produced is formatted number. And if I run it again, so it has my numeric value has been converted to a text value, and it has become formatted value with 5 decimal places. So simple. In the similar way, let me delete all these things. Let me use this set variable and call it as my date of birth, and I am going to say my date of birth is some 14th March, maybe 1987 is good. Okay, and I say save. So if you look at my date of birth is a text value which is having 14th March 1987. I am going to convert the text to a date time value. What I am going to do, I am selecting my date of birth. Date is represented in custom format. We are not going to do anything with this. So we say that text as date time and select. Now if I run, it is coming with another icon called X inside the bracket, which is a date value. Now if I am changing this particular date time to text again, I select this. I select text as date time. Format to use, you can use a custom format. I say the DD -YY, that's it. And sample, this is what is the sample we are going to get. And if I run it again, so the formatted date is DD and YY. And that is our introduction to text actions in Power Automate Desktop. These actions are the foundation for real world automation. You will be using it very frequently for cleaning the data and extracting information. Thank you all. See you in the next video with another challenge. Until then, bye bye.